Aloha, everyone. My name is Mark, and I am the Casual Exile. Hey, today we're talking about something that confused the heck out of me when I first started PoE, the marketplace. So today, my goal is to keep it super simple. No complicated strategies, no trying to snipe the perfect item, just how to actually use the marketplace to make your character feel noticeably better as you level up. So think about the marketplace like a giant garage sale for exiles. You can buy gear that's usually way better than what drops naturally, especially in the early and mid games. Think of the marketplace like a giant garage sale for exiles. You can usually buy gear that's way better than what drops naturally, especially in the early and mid campaign. The best part? You don't need to be rich or know all the meta stuff. You just need to know when to look and what to look for. So let's start with the big question. When should you actually go shopping? The simple answer is every 5 levels or so, or whenever you hit a new big tier on something important. To help you with this, I made a caster focused shopping list broken down by level and slot that I'll share on screen. Also, you're free to look at the timestamps in the description if you just want to jump to a specific section. So, for example, with boots, movement speed is king. At level 1, you can already get 10%. At level 12, you can jump to 15%, and so on. So, with that said, here's my relaxed shopping philosophy. Don't stress about getting perfect rolls or finding the perfect rare with all the prefixes and suffixes. Just look for a noticeable upgrade in 1 or 2 important stats. The rest, gravy, especially in the campaign. So if you see something with plus levels or much better movement speed or a ton of life, grab it. Prices are usually pretty reasonable early on. Remember, the goal isn't to have the best gear in the game. The goal is to have gear that makes playing the game more enjoyable. That's really all there is to it. The marketplace is there to help you have more fun, not to stress you out. So let's jump in and actually show you how to search for stuff. Let's go. Before we get started, we need to confront a pretty harsh reality about trade as a new player. Trade kind of sucks. Bottom line up front, GGG did an awesome thing by making big improvements to how trade works in the game, but they really hosed new players, and honestly, I think they made a mistake with how they gated it. The main thing that I want you to know is that when you first hit Act 4, you'll unlock the ability to get your own hideout. This opens up a ton of much better trading options. Until you get your hideout in Act 4, though, you can't visit another player's hideout. You're stuck doing the old school manual trade method. Stupid, right? With the manual method, you're stuck in a town, whispering people, hoping that they respond, inviting them to party, meeting up somewhere. It's clunky and, quite frankly, annoying. So if trading feels awkward and frustrating right now, you're not doing anything wrong. It just kind of sucks until Act 4. So with that, we should probably go over to how actually to do a trade. Truth be told, though, this site right here tells it a ton better than I ever could. I'll drop the link in the description and the pinned comment. It walks you through whispering sellers, meeting up, using the trade window, and all the little details really clearly. Hey, all right, let's start with boots. Hey, bottom line up front, movement speed is king on boots. It just makes the whole game feel smoother and more enjoyable. After that, rarity is pretty nice because it helps you get more loot while you're leveling. So here's the bottom line up front on boots when you want to shop. So I'm level 16 right now as a witch. So here's how I would shop if I was using trade. So the first thing, I'd go to the trade site. You can either go to the website, which I have here in front of me, or you can use the in-game trade by hitting the / key. They're both exactly the same. You're going to see all the same fields, no difference whatsoever. So first, make sure your search filter at the top is set to your correct league. For me, that's PoE 2 Runes of Alder. And you're going to want to set it to in-person, online, in league. This is important because it only will show you items from players who are currently online in your league doing in-person trades. There's no point looking at items from people who are offline or in a different league or whose hideouts you just can't visit. Under the type filters, we're going to set the following. Item category, we're going to set boots. And then under item rarity, we're going to set non-unique. Uniques are all well and good, and there are some really good leveling uniques out there, but that's pretty out of scope for my video series. Under the equipment filters, we're going to set one pretty stringent filter. You're going to set your armor and your evasion max both to 1. As a caster, what we really want to focus on is pure energy shield for maximum survivability. And what we're doing right here is by setting our armor and evasion to max 1, we're ensuring that the only items that come up are the ones with pure energy shield. Under the requirements tab, you're going to set the level to your current level. You're going to set the max field to your current level. So for me, I'm level 16. So that's the max that I'm going to set here. Everything else on this left side, endgame filters, miscellaneous, or trade filters, just leave alone. You don't need it right now. Then we're going to go over to stat filters. Here, this is where I'm going to add movement speed. So, but to do that, I'm going to click Add Stat Filter, and I'm going to start typing in movement, M-O-V-E, and I see down here explicit, and that's what we want. We want the explicit modifier, increased movement speed. And we're going to set that minimum to 15 because that is the best that I can get at my current level. You can see that right here in the shopping list. I'm also going to add increased rarity of items found. So I'm going to do that by clicking Add Item, and I'm going to start typing in the word rarity, and soon you'll see increased rarity of items found. I'm going to set the minimum on this one to 6. Again, that's the minimum that I want for my level. So right now we've got boots, non-unique. We're filtering for just boots that have energy shield. We're setting the max level to 16, and we're making sure that it has increased movement speed of minimum 15 and increased rarity of minimum 6. Once I hit search, you're going to get a list. And here's my list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort by price. Everything in these windows is clickable. You can see that if I hover over energy shield, it highlights a little. That means that I can sort by energy shield. I can sort by movement speed. I can sort by price. I can sort by any of the fields that I find here. But for me, and at this level, right, price is king. So I'm going to click price, and that's going to sort. The first way that is it's going to sort high to low. So if you click it again, now it's sorting low to high. And we can see that there's 11 results for the search field. And if I click the load more down here at the bottom, it'll show me the remainder. On the website, I like to have it so that I have 2 columns. You can change the amount of detail that you get just by selecting this little button right here, but really it's fine. So what I'm looking for is any energy shield boots that have 15% movement speed and honestly cost less than about 1 Exalted Orb. Even if it has 15% movement speed and nothing else, that's a good buy at this level. Don't worry about the perfect stats. Just get the movement speed, right? So if I'm going to look here, let's take a closer look, right? So we got 15% movement speed, and this one has 6% for one, what is that? One alchemy orb, right? This one has 15% and 8% increased rarity of items for an exalted orb, right? So a little bit better. Let's see if we can get anything better. 15% with 8%, 15%, 9% for the same price. That's pretty good. See if there's anything better. 15.6, 15.8, 15.10 for 10. I don't think I want that. And then this one goes up to 20. Then it goes up to a chaos orb. And then it goes up to 50. So quite honestly, best bang for my buck right here is probably going to be 15% increased movement speed and 9% increased rarity of items found, all for the low, low price of one exalted orb. Next up, let's take a look at amulets. This is one of the most important slots for any caster, sorceress, or witch. Bottom line up front, the best thing you can get on an amulet is plus level to all spell skills. It makes every spell you cast stronger. After that, increased cast speed is excellent because it makes your casting feel that much smoother. So here's the bottom line up front for amulets, and when I recommend you go shopping if you're in the market for a new amulet. So at level 16 right now, here's exactly what I'm looking for. I go to the trade site and I set the following. Under type filters, I'm going to set the item category to amulet, and I'm going to set the rarity to non-unique. Under the requirements, I'm going to set the level to what my maximum level is, 16. Everything else, leave it alone. Then we're going to go into stat filters. I'm going to add plus level to all spell skills. The way I do that is I just start typing level, and I'll see +2 level of all spell skills. And I'm going to set the minimum there to 1. Then I'm going to add increase cast speed, and I'm going to set the minimum to 9. Now, when I hit search, every result should have at least +1 to spell skills and some cast speed. That's what we want. So I sort by price, lowest to highest, and I just pick a cheap one that looks decent. Right here, you can see that we've really only got 3 choices, and one of them's this one's pretty much the only one that's in the realm of the reasonable. So if I were a buying person, this is the one I would get today. This one, just too darn expensive at almost 50 Exalted Orbs, which you probably don't have. And this one, this guy's just being dumb. 2 Divine Orbs, that's crazy talk. Just get that plus the spell skills and you'll be happy. If you need to, let's say you get no results there, what you can do is you can go back into the filters by hitting show filters and honestly just uncheck increase cast speed. Really, the big one that you want here is plus level to all spell skills. So by unchecking that increased cast speed and hitting search, you'll see I have 161 matches. Now let's sort by price. Now my lowest priced one is 1 Regal Orb. Bam. +1 level to all spell skills. And I got some life regen to boot. Next up, your wand. This is your main weapon as a caster. So it's a very important slot. Bottom line up front, on wands, we want increased spell damage as the main prefix and plus level to all spell skills as the suffix. That combination makes your spells hit so much harder. Bottom line up front, on your wand, here's when you want to shop. At level 16 right now, as a witch, here's exactly what I'm looking for. I go to trade, I set the item category to wand, I set the item rarity to non-unique, then under requirements, I'm going to set my max level to my current level, 16, and that's it on this side. Now I'm going to go into stat filters. The first stat filter I'm going to add is increase spell damage. And I'm going to set that minimum to 45. That's the best, actually, that's the lowest I want for this level. Then I'm going to add another stat filter, and I'm going to add plus level to all spell skills. And I'm going to set that minimum to 1. Then, once I hit search, I'm going to sort by price. It's already sorted by low to high, or it should be, right? And I can see what I'm looking for is any wand that has both increased spell damage and +1 to all spell skills. Even if the numbers aren't perfect, as long as it has both of those, it's a solid upgrade at level 16. This one right here, 51% spell damage +1. What? That's freaking awesome for one Exalted Orb. I'd go for that one in a heartbeat. Don't worry about getting the absolute best rolls. Just get something with those two stats and you will feel the difference in your damage. All right, next one's going to be staff. This one's a little bit special. The bottom line up front on staffs is that we're only looking at chiming staffs or its unique variant. We're going to use this later on in our second weapon set, specifically for the Sigil of Power skills that it grants. That skill is really strong for casters, so we really want a good chiming staff. So here's the bottom line up front for staffs, right? And when you're going to shop for them. You'll see that we can't start shopping until level 25. At level 16 right now, I'm just not looking for one. The first good option shows up at level 25. That's the unique staff, Sire of Shards. It's a chiming staff with 15% cast speed built in. So when I hit level 25, I'm going to search for Sire of Shards and then sort by price. To do that, I click search items and I'm just going to start typing in Sire of Shards, chiming staff. I'm going to put maximum level 25 because that's when I'm going to search for it. And then I'm going to click search. So you can see there's only one of them available right now, and it's 50 exalted. But hopefully by the time you get to level 25, you'll have nearly that. I think the last time that I did a search, if I searched for like level 26, I saw one a lot cheaper. Yep, I'm right. Look at that. Here's one that's level 26 and is only 1 exalt. So waiting another level and then getting 49 exalt discount, yeah, I definitely wait. After level 30, you're going to be able to get a regular chiming staff. You won't need this unique anymore. That's when I can begin doing normal searches. And then what I'll do is I'll do a search for a regular chiming staff. And then I'll put in my stat filters of plus to all spell skills and increase cast speed. So if I'm doing a level 30, what I would do is I would take item category and I would take staff. I can find staff here. Let's see. Staff. Yoo-hoo, staff. Where the heck are you, man? There it is, staff. And up here, I'm going to type chiming. Chiming staff. Level 30. And I'm going to add spell skills. And I'm going to add cast speed. And let's see what I pull up for level 30 chiming staffs. Yeah, you can see that there's a couple right there. Unfortunately, people are being dumbasses about it, trying to charge through the absolute roof, which there's no way in heck I would pay for these prices. So you're going to have to do a little searching and hopefully somebody comes to their senses on these prices. Okay, for now at level 16, I can completely ignore the slot and just focus on my main wand. And as a witch, I focus on my scepter. As a caster, a sorceress, you might focus on the next thing that we're going to talk about, Foci. Bottom line up front, on Foci, we want increased spell damage as the main prefix, and again, plus all level of spell skills as the suffix whenever it's available. That's the strongest combination. Here's the bottom line up front for Foci. Only a couple levels to shop for. At level 16 right now as a witch, here's exactly what I'd do. Item category, Foci. There it is. It's focus. Item rarity, any non-unique. Then under type, well, I'm sorry, I just did that. Any focus, any non-unique. Under requirements, I'm going to set my max level to my current level, 16. Everything else, we're going to leave alone. Then on your stat filters, we're going to add level to all spell skills, and we're going to set that to 1. And the second thing is going to be increased spell damage. We're going to set that to 45. Then when you hit your search, there are 2 of them. One is 12 chaos, and the other is 2 divine. Again, I think people are charging a little bit out the wazoo for these, but it is Lobby. If you don't find anything with both, go back into your filters and just remove the spell damage one. Your plus level to spell skills is the most important stat here. See, we've gone from 2 results to 100 results. The other thing that you could do is you could put your increased spell damage, but you could remove the minimum. Then we get 17 results. Look at that, starting at 1 exalted, right? So it's all a matter of shaping how your stats look, right? This is the most important one. This is secondary. You're looking for a focus that has both increased spell damage, quite honestly, at any, right? And then level to all spell skills. Even if the number aren't maxed out, as long as it's got both stats, it's a good buy. Now, what if you're a witch? Let's look at scepters. Bottom line up front, on a scepter, we want increased spirit as the main prefix, and plus to all minion skills as the suffix. Since I'm playing a minion witch, this slot is actually pretty darn important for me. The bottom line up front, you're going to shop at these levels. At level 16 right now, here's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in and I will select Scepter, and then I will select non-unique. I will go into requirements and put my current level as max, and then I'm going to go over into stat filters. The first stat filter that I'm going to add to is minion, plus to level of minion skills. And I'm going to set that minimum 1. And the second one that I'm going to do is increased spirit. Hey, my dryer's done. So we're going to go percent increased spirit here. We're going to set that right now to 33. And then we're going to hit search. Let's see what happens. Not bad. We got a whole bunch of these. I'm looking for any scepter that has both increased spirit and minion skills. But wait, there's more. So the thing about scepters is that they also grant what's called an implicit statistic. You can see here that we've got a stoic scepter that grants the skill discipline, and a rattling scepter that grants the skill skeletal warrior minion. Well, for me, and then down here, you've got an omen scepter that grants the skill malice. For me, as a minion witch, I want minions, right? I don't want discipline or malice. So how do we further tailor these results to only show me what I want? Well, we go back into the filters, and then up here at the top in the search bar, we type in a rattling scepter. Just the first couple letters, and you'll see rattling scepter. That's going to further drive down what we're looking for here and only give me things that match rattling scepter, which has minions on it. So you'll see the first item right here is a level 1 skeletal warrior minion. It's got increased spirit and it's got +1 level to all minion skills, but it's only got a level 1 skeletal warrior minion. So how do I sort by that? Well, you just click on it. If I click on grant skill, it's going to sort by that level. So you'll see it'll sort top down, right? So now the top tier, right, is level 5 with increased spirit and +1. He wants 15 exalts. Let's see if we can find a better price. Well, one divine's not going to catch it. One divine, nope, one divine, 30 divine. That guy's out of his mind. But here's one with level 4 for only 4 exalts. This is actually a pretty good deal. There's another one down here. Well, that's a level 1. You don't want level 1. Another way that you could do this in your filters, right? And what might help you is under requirements, you could set your minimum level to be 5 levels below your current level, right? And that'll get rid of all like the really, really lowbie items. So if I put in level 11 to 16 and click search, you'll notice those level 1s are gone. And so now all that remains is these level 5s. So that's probably not good. I probably want to bring this down even more. Maybe I'll bring it down to level 9, right? There we go. Now we're starting to see those level 4s there with a more reasonable price. Where do they? There it is, that 4. All right, next up, we're going to do rings. Bottom line up front on rings, rings are a steady upgrade slot. There isn't one massive power spike plus levels on amulets. Instead, we just look for increased elemental damage, matching whatever element that you're specifically running. So if you're running lightning, then you would pick increased lightning damage, or cold, or chaos, or fire. And secondly, we want increased cast speed. Since you wear 2 rings, this slot really can add up over time. So at level 16 right now as a witch, here's exactly how I'd search. Go to the trade and I set the following. So I'm going to set rings, and then I'm going to set non-unique. I'm going to set my level max to 16. Everything else, leave it alone. Then under your stat filters, we're going to add 2 stat filters. The first one is going to be increased. For me, it's lightning damage, right? You can see increased lightning damage. And I'm going to set that to a minimum of 8. You can see that right here. And then the second stat filter is I'm going to search for increased cast speed. And that's going to be a minimum of 9. So now we're going to hit the search button. We're going to see what comes up. Oh, we got a couple rings, right? So we got this nice ring here. This guy's selling for 30 transmutes. Great price, like that. We got another one for 10 exalts. That's not terrible. It's not great. What we could do is we could probably either remove that cast speed minimum to see if any more pop up. No more pop up. Or we could just remove that cast speed entirely and see how many more pop up. Oh, look at that. Now we have more than 100, right? Because we have this lightning damage on there. You know, quite honestly, I'm looking for rings that have both lightning and increased cast speed. And since you wear 2 rings, you're going to buy 2 of them. Even if they're not perfect, you know, as long as they have both stats, they're good upgrades at this level. So one thing that I will mention here is sometimes you're going to see, let me just see if I can find one. You're going to see a statistic that says adds some number to some number and then a certain type of damage to attacks. Now, this is really, really important because it's confusing, especially to new players. In the game, spells are not considered attacks. Attacks are melee hits. So you have to actually strike something with a bow, a projectile hit. That's an attack. A bow does an attack. A mace does an attack. A sword does an attack, right? But unfortunately, spells aren't attacks. So if you ever see adds physical damage to attacks or adds a whole bunch of lightning damage to attacks or something like that, right? Fortunately, it doesn't apply to us casters. All right, next up, chest. Bottom line up front, on your chest, we want spirit as the main prefix. More spirit equals stronger auras and supports. We want life regen as the suffix. That helps you sustain, your life. Keeps you alive while making your character more powerful. So here's the shopping list and the bottom line up front on when you should shop. Level 16 as a witch, here's exactly what I do. Go into the item category and I'm looking for body armor. Then I'm going to set it to non-unique. Under the equipment filters, we're going to set, again, that pretty stringent filter that we set earlier. We're going to set a max of 1 to armor and evasion. That ensures that we only get energy shield chests. And then under requirements, we're going to set our level to 16. Everything else, leave it alone. Okay. So then we go into our stat filters and we're going to search for 2 things. The first that we're going to search is for spirit. Now this time we're looking for number 2 spirit. So we're adding a flat number to our spirit. And our minimum here is going to be 30. Our second stat filter is going to be life regen. And so I type life regen. And we're going for number life regeneration per second. And here we're going to put in 3.1. Then we're going to hit our search filter and sort low to high. And we see that the first one right here is Regal. This chest has both 31 spirit and it has some pretty good life regen for the low cost of 1 Regal. I also prefer high energy shield bases, right? So if you want, you can sort by either your energy shield or your energy shield at max quality to show you how much energy shield is there. Honestly, even if it only has 1 of 2 of these stats, it's still worth considering at this level. Next up, gloves. Bottom line up front, on gloves, we want maximum energy shield as the main prefix for survivability and intelligence on the suffix because it helps with our energy shield and attributes requirements as a caster. Here's the shopping list. At level 16, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in and I'm going to select gloves and then I'm going to select non-unique. Again, pretty stringent filter under armor and evasion. I'm going to set their maxes to 1, ensuring I only get energy shield. And then I'm going to leave everything else alone. Let's move over into stat filters. And the first stat filter I'm going to set is intelligence. Number 2 intelligence. And I'm going to add that. And my minimum here is going to be 9. Then I'm going to add the next stat filter, it's going to be maximum energy shield. Now, what is this local thing? What? Local means that it's applied to the armor directly. That's basically what it means. So click on that one, and we're going to insert 25 for that one as the minimum. All right, let's search, and boom, a whole bunch of gloves. We're going to sort by price. It's already sorted lowest to highest. You're looking for any gloves that have both that energy shield and intelligence, right? Since I'm a caster, again, I'm gonna filter out anything that says adds 1 to 6 lightning damage to attacks. It doesn't factor into our decision here because, again, spells aren't attacks. We only care about energy shield and intelligence on this one. So even this simple pair with those 2 stats is a solid upgrade at level 16 because it makes me noticeably tankier. All right, let's move on to helmet. Bottom line up front, On a helmet, we want maximum life as the main prefix. If you're playing a minion build, then you're also going to want plus level to all minion skills. That's going to be the priority if you're a minion build, like I am. Increased critical hit chance is the common good suffix. So bottom line, we've got two bottom lines here, right? If you're a normal caster, a sorceress, or a non-minion witch, right? Here's when you should probably shop. But if you're a minion build, you're going to specifically shop at these two levels. At level 16 right now as a minion witch, here's exactly what I'd do. Go into the type and I would hit helmet, non-unique. Again, this is an armor piece, so I'm going to filter out armor and evasion, leaving only energy shield. And then I'm going to set my maximum level to my current level, which is 16. Everything else, leave it alone. Then let's go into stat filters. For a general spellcaster, non-minion, you're going to want to select maximum life. Number to maximum life. And for 16, you would want to set that to 30. However, I'm a minion build. So instead of maximum life, I am going to select plus level to all minion skills and set the minimum to 1. My second statistic is going to be increased critical hit chance. For that, our minimum's going to be 10 at level 16. So based upon that, let's see what we find. And I have a few results, right? One of them, not bad, right? 1 exalt. I got my +1 level. I got my critical hit, and wow, I even get a little energy shield with it. So that's great. If I was a regular caster, I'd want to look for life and that critical hit. Even a basic helmet with those stats is a worthwhile upgrade at this level. So next up, we've got the belt. Bottom line up front on a belt, we want maximum life as the main prefix for survivability, and life regen as the suffix to help us stay topped up between fights. So here's your bottom line up front. A lot of shopping, but pretty evenly spaced out. So at level 16 right now, I would go in and I would select belt, non-unique. And then I'm going to set my level, which is level 16 is my max. And everything else I'm going to leave alone. Then let's go into stat filters. Here, I'm going to add 2 filters. I'm going to add maximum life, and I'm going to set that to 30. And then I'm going to add life regen, and I'm going to set that to 3.1. Maximum level right here. Once I hit search, sort by price, it's already sorted, and I see that I've got a great belt right here for 1 exalt. Now, the other thing is I want you to pay attention to the belt type and its implicit stat. Kind of earlier, we were talking about those amulets. Some belts have useful implicits like increased flask charges or increased life recovery from flasks or increased flask charges gained, right? Pick a base that feels good for your build. For us, for casters, I find that this linen belt probably is one of the better ones, right? Because it gives me increased mana recovery when I do drink from my flask. Even a basic belt with good life and a little regen is a solid upgrade at this level because it helps me survive longer while I'm still learning the game. Now, again, what do you do if your search and nothing good comes up? You got a couple options, right? This will happen all the time, especially right as you hit a new tier. Listen to me. Oh my goodness. Hey, so here's what I do, right? Lower one of the stats slightly, right? For example, this life regen, right? Let's lower it to, well, actually, see how down here we see it, there were 9 results with 3.1. What if I lower this to 2.9? Look at that. Now I have 11 results. And if I lower it even more, let's say I just remove the minimum. Well, now I have 16 results, right? Movement speed. Hey, if you can't get 15 or if 15's too expensive, take 10% if nothing else shows up, right? Buy something good enough for now and keep playing. You can always sell it later when better stuff comes up. Check back in a couple hours or the next day. New listings happen all the time. Look, don't sit there for 30 minutes refreshing the screen trying to find perfection. Look, don't spend 30 minutes refreshing the screen trying to find perfection. The goal is to get a noticeable upgrade and keep playing the game. Bottom line, progress is greater than perfection. So that was a quick walkthrough of what I would be searching for right now at level 16 as a witch. But now that you've seen how searches actually work, let me zoom out and give you the big picture. So here are the best levels to go shopping during the campaign. These are the points where you usually get upgrades that feel good, right? So level 1, technically you can shop right away, but you probably won't have any money yet. Level 5 is your first real shopping window. A lot of good stuff opens up. Level 10, this is a must. +1 to all spell skills becomes available on your amulet and your focus. While you're there, grab anything good that became available at level 8. Level 12 is another good window. Grab anything from level 11, and at level 12, you get 15% movement speed on boots. Level 16, this one's really juicy. Spirit on chest, strong energy shield on gloves, better damage rolls. Oh yeah. Level 25, that's your next big point. Grab anything good from level 24, and at level 25, you can get +2 to all spell skills on your wand, plus that unique staff, Sire of Shards. Level 33, you're going to grab stuff from level 31, and at level 33, you get 20% movement speed on your boots. Level 36, you're going to grab anything from level 35, and at level 36, more damage upgrades open up, more big damage upgrades. Level 41 is your major power spike, +2 to all spell skills on your amulet and your focus. This one feels so good. And then 46, strong upgrades across the board. 25% movement speed on your boots, better life, etc. 55 is probably the last big point that I'm going to focus on here. You hit +3 to all spell skills on multiple slots. After that, it's generally worth checking on every 5 levels or so as the tiers keep getting better. Hey, look, you don't have to shop at every single one of these. Just use them as rough checkpoints. When you hit one of these levels and you feel like your character could use a boost, take 15 minutes and do a quick shopping run. That's really the whole system. Check the list every 5 to 10 levels, do a quick targeted search for the current good tier on each slot, buy something reasonable, keep moving. Most things, as you saw on the trade site, are priced in Exalted Orbs because they're valuable enough, but still common enough to have a few of them. After you reach Act 4 and talk to the NPC Ange, you're also going to unlock the currency exchange, which makes swapping currencies super duper easy. So I'm going to show you right here the typical currency ladder. So approximately the order of value. Now, one thing I do want you to keep in mind, the economy is always generally inflating. One day something might cost 5 exalted, and a few days later it might be 10. That's normal. The more people that reach endgame, the more Exalted Orbs are in circulation. Now, luckily, a new league resets everything, so don't stress about it. Hey, another thing, sometimes you're going to see people asking absolutely stupid amounts for stuff. That usually means that either they're trying to inflate the average market price or they're just being a jerk. Usually, it's a bit of both. Just ignore them and keep looking. There's always more listings. Look, the big ones, the big levels to circle on your calendar are level 10, 12, 16, 25, 33, 41, 46, and 55. Did I just win the Powerball? Those are when you usually feel the strongest jumps. That's really the whole system. The marketplace isn't about trying to get perfect god rolls or min-maxing every single piece of gear. That's a great way to burn yourself out. The goal is simple. Get noticeable upgrades that make playing the game more fun and less frustrating. If you see something with plus levels, good movement speed, solid life, decent cast speed, and the price isn't stupid, just buy it. Don't sit there for 20 minutes debating whether it's the absolute best possible item. Grab something reasonable, equip it, and keep enjoying the campaign. Progress over perfection. Look, you're naturally going to get better gear as you go. The marketplace is just there to help smooth out the rough spots and make your character feel stronger along the way. That's it. No stress, no pressure, just steady improvement while you play at your own pace. Hey, if you like this, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, click that subscribe button. I hope to see you for the next video. Until then, stay casual, exiles.